Oh, well. Hello, it's a Triple B. Remember to like, please. People always forget to be like. Like costs nothing. Anyway, what are we talking about here? Conor Benn, vs Chris Eubank Jr., the big fight. The big fight. Well, it's not really, but it doesn't mean much, but a big fight, allegedly, in the UK. £19.99, please, sir. Thank you very much. Ka-ching. So Conor Benn's failed a drug test. Now, anybody who's been watching the build-up, right, and seen the sheer muscle and strength that Conor Benn has been putting on, in a relatively short period of time, remember he's going up, what is he? He's a welterweight. He's going up 10 pounds. Now, 10 pounds of sheer muscle, right? It's not with 10 pounds of lard, is it? Yeah. Putting on 10 pounds of muscle in 3 months is serious business. And it can just about only be done if you talk, especially a guy who's a welterweight. He's not like a 6'4" guy. But on 10 pounds of muscle on that frame, it almost can't be done without juicing. That's the truth. That's why in the old days, the fighters, when they moved up weights, they would really struggle, because they look a bit fleshy. Huh? You don't get that these days because people are juicing through their ears, man. And they're just as muscular when they move up, You get me? That's why you get things like Pacquiao. He's a well-known juicer, how much you like him. And most people are, so I don't even care anymore, unfortunately. I just feel for the poor buggers that aren't clued up enough and don't have a good team to juice because they're going to be a major disadvantage. As should be said, he done D-Bowl for 3 months once just to check it out. I could not believe the difference. I felt like a young man who was full of energy and busting, full of testosterone. Yeah. Apparently, there's certain products you can take. I think PCT, which is post-psychotherapy, which actually increase your Corey by 20%. But I don't know if that's true. And this is not about Coryness. Okay, it's about Conor Benn failing the drugs test. Now, so I said, I'm thinking, I see that headline. I'm like, well, obviously it's pulled off, and I'm a bit annoyed, right? Because I'm just, there are not that many half-decent boxing fights on. And like 80% of the shows I watch, there's not a single fight I really enjoyed, So, at least this will have some proper beef and there'll be the legacy interest. And it's just a weird fight to see. Can Ben, put on that weight and be, competitive with a guy who's much bigger, who's fought super middleweight? Well, yeah, probably could do with all that juicing. So just to be clear, the banned substance is something called, what is it? Let's have a look here. Clomiphene it's called. I've not heard of this, okay, but it's on the ban list, right? So apparently, according to these papers, the substance, which is usually used to treat infertility in women, but is known to increase testosterone in men, is prohibited by WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency. So Ben's test was carried out by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, VADA. Okay, they sound almost the same, but yeah, VADA. So I don't know much about juicing. Yeah, but as I understand, there are ways to increase testosterone. Yeah, by masking the product you're using, and they might test your test and go, oh, wow, he's got 3 times the average man's testosterone. But testosterone tests allow for up to 4 times the normal, the normal presence of testosterone, because obviously they're the occasional freaks that just have massive testosterone. So you can actually juice if you know how to do it and get loads of tests, as long as they don't test for the product that causes a testosterone leap. I don't know enough about it, but there must be 1,000,001 ways, and I've never heard of clomiphene. Maybe you thought that this would not be picked up. Anybody been watching Conor Benn's videos leading up, man? Look at this. I mean, you see this he's put on so much strength, as I said, in the lead up. All these real kind of, he's got all these pictures with his great muscles on and lifting weights, heavy weights and fast and hard and hitting hard on the back. I mean, they're all doing it really, or most of them are, but just don't get caught. But and he's been training a lot with Felix Cash, which makes you think about Cash. Cash has got a really muscle torso and body too. But, who knows, man. But, I would say, yeah, it's almost certain he is. But, just master substance. or, you know, time it, well, cycle it, whatever. There's loads of ways of doing it. I'm not an expert, as I say, because I'm not a bodybuilder or professional athlete. But, you know, like I said, tried to debowl once, and I can't tell you the difference it made. You know, especially as I was an older guy, I felt like, you know, I took it when I was older, in my 30s, yeah? You know, and I was just like, blood clot, you know. You know, this is insane. The difference in strength and recuperation and power. I wasn't competing, so it doesn't matter. I was just trying to get fit again quickly, but just to try it out. But I got a bit of rage. You get me? I got a bit of rage. So yeah, I'm not into that really. So no, big question is, does it go ahead? No, amazingly. You know, I say amazingly. You know, it's to do with money. But you know, you think, well, he's federal drug test, so it won't go ahead. But apparently, there's every chance it will, you know? And you know why, money rules, right? But still, it's kind of a bit odd. Huh? I mean, what happens, you know? Imagine if Eubanks got injured, yeah? In any way, seriously, and Ben had been, you know, juicing his butt off, and they still let it go on. That's not going to look good. I mean, surely the board can't allow it, you know, and it makes them very vulnerable if something like that happens. Yeah. So let's have. I mean, I need to look into this and find out what the official position is, because this is nuts to let it go on. Yeah. The other thing about, you know, when you get these athletes failing tests, right? That's not necessarily the end of it. In fact, it's never the end of it, right? You can appeal things. There's a B sample, I think, in most cases. Also, there's an excuse. Yeah. So you could say, oh, I didn't realize I was doping. There's also an excuse lined up. The beef, the nandrolone fueled beef that Tyson took, the Canelo beef, you know. There's, I took this, Billy Joe Saunders had a nasal, some nasal spray allegedly, you know, they had a banned substance. And there's all these other ways. I ate boar testicles, was that Tyson's one? I can't remember. And all, you know, all these things, these ready-made excuses. I think this woman, I can't remember which one, right? I think she was MMA, not boxing, I can't remember her name, right? And she claimed she failed a test, right? And she said, oh, I'm sorry, it's my fault. Sorry, it's not my fault. I didn't know. I haven't taken anything, but I've been noshing off my boyfriend. Yeah, I've been noshing off my boyfriend and swallowing. I mean, seriously, swallowing it all. Yeah, and obviously, he's on the juice because he's a bodybuilder, so I must have taken it that way. And it could be true, you know? I mean, you got to remember, yeah, who's that cyclist? He didn't fail a single test. That cyclist, Lance, whatever his name was. Yeah. So it makes you think, you know, and there's always excuses. So it's not the end of it necessarily. Always fail the test, he's thrown out. You probably have loads of excuses. Oh, you know. Oh, it's my wife, my girlfriend's infertility drugs that she's been taking, and I've been eating her PUM PUM out every night. So some of them infertility. Do you see how it works? Some of that clomiphene that she's been taking because she wanted to get pregnant again. Yeah. And I've been munching up a PUM PUM all the time, and it's obviously got in my system. You get me? So there you go. There's a ready-made excuse that Chubby just came out of his... Chubby don't know about drug taking, but that's what I'd be saying. I'd be like, I'm sorry, man. I love noshing PUM PUM. I do it all the time. Morning, day, night. Nosh. And when we've been trying to get pregnant, she can't be, so she'd be taking clomiphene. So I must have noshed her off so much and swallowed so much of her PUM PUM juice. Yeah? You know, if it's true warrior, he'd be talking about the heirs juice, because he's a wrong one. But yeah, I've been eating the PUM PUM juice, and that must be why I tested positive, because why would I take a woman infertility drug? So there you go. We'll see what he says. I mean, by the way, Ben, yeah, that'd be $5,000 consultancy fee for getting you out of a pickle. You can cash at me, yeah, on # Bengo G14 anonymously. You don't have to use your real name. I want to see that 5 large for my free excuse and consultancy fee, blood. Show some love for the Triple B like me fans do. All right. Anyway, so yeah. So Eddie Hearns has made a release. Yeah. Let's see what this scumbag has got to say. So it's all sold out. It's PPV. We know there's a lot of money there. I mean, was this the biggest British fight of the year? No. After Dillian White Fury. Okay, obviously Usyk's Joshua was not in Britain. So after Dillian White Fury, is it the biggest one? I think it must be. So let's have a look through what it says. Yep. Matchroom has now released a statement confirming the fight will still take place.
We've been made aware, says Eddie Hearn, that a random anti-doping test for Conor Benn conducted by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association returned an adverse analytical finding for trace amounts of fertility drug, blah, blah. The B samples yet to be tested, meaning that no rule violation has been confirmed. Now, don't be surprised if the B sample comes clean. And they're like, oh, well, it's fine. It must be the Pum Pum story. It must be right. Because now he's stopped eating the Pum Pum and now he's clean, the B sample, which, by the way, they could break. Yeah, you get me? You know, I'd be like, there's too much money in this, man. Let him pass the B sample. We're going to smooth this out with Chris Eubank so he doesn't pull out. Yeah, he might change the clauses a bit. I don't know. They're not letting this amount of money go, especially so close to the fight. Yeah. So, Ben's not been charged at this point, even though he's failed a test. And he goes, Mr. Ben. why is Eddie Hearns only calling him Mr. Ben? You know, he's a kid. He's a ute, man, compared to Eddie Hearns. And you could say, oh, the manager, the promoter are actually, employed by the fighter. But we know the truth, man. The promoter's the one who ruled the roost, you get me? Because, if you're not in their books, you ain't fighting for no money. Mr. Ben, anyway. Mr. Ben, is that character in that kid's... had like a cartoon character called Mr. Ben, didn't he? Ages ago, when I was a youth, I can vaguely remember. Anyway, Mr. Ben has passed all the doping tests conducted by UCAD. That's the UK Anti-Doping Association, which is, by the way, Hearn has very, very close links to. And guess what I found when I investigated this in the old channel? I found that the woman working for UCAD in a senior position was a Nigerian woman who worked in the 2012 Olympics on the doping committee. And she's from the same tribe as Joshua. She's a Yoruba. And she lived, no joke, I found out she had loads of weird companies, security companies, pharmaceutical companies, on company's house. And she lived really close to Gay Jay's mother. Very, very dodgy. Anyway, so UCAD are not to be trusted. By the way, when I brought this up, funnily enough, this direct ship disappeared. And all the mention of this woman, I can't remember her name, disappeared off the UCAD site. They obviously saw the videos of the old channel. You might be a small channel, right? But if you know your things and you appear under, especially small players' names, when you search them, you can shake things up. I got Bengal G14 to private up his Instagram. I got AKA Skins. And Ben Heine rinsed it, I brought it to light that it was into Batti business with Gay J. Anyway, so this is the power of the Triple B channel, y'all. And my fans, because without me fans, I'm nothing without me fans. Anyway, so then both fighters this is Hearn, he continues, both fighters have taken medical and legal advice, are aware of all the relevant information, and wish to proceed with the bout Saturday. Of course they do, man. How much are they going to make, 5 mil each? I don't know, I'm guessing. But they're making bare money. Yeah. No one's interested in Eubank outside the UK. No one's interested in Ben outside the UK. The Ben's division is stacked. Yeah. And no one's going to pay him $5,000 to fight for the world title, and he'll get smashed. Chris Eubank as well, similarly, he's not good enough to the top dogs. And he won't be paid a lot of money, he'll probably lose. So why not take $5,000 against, a fight that he might win? Come on, man. Juicing or not, he knows. I don't think Eubank juicing too, most likely. Especially when he's got to lose the weight. He'll be doing different substances like, I don't know, clenbuterol.
Hello again.
What's that, man? Blood clot. Did you see that? It came out of the blue. Blood clot, did you hear that? On my PC, it suddenly started, no doubt, it's been off. Hasn't had a pit, I haven't touched it. It suddenly starts playing a Triple B video. I don't know if you heard that, man. That's some freaky ass shit. I don't think I got no ghost in this house. Because, the dog will usually know when there's ghosts in the house. The way they act, they'll sniff it out at night and they'll start looking. I don't get none of that from my boy Tyson here, so I don't think it's a ghost. I just think it's some electronic weirdness. Anyway, yo. I was like, what the blood clot's happening? So, they're going to fight. Of course it's not off. I don't know what how it looks for the board. I mean, they all said, well, there was only the first test. It was a very small trace. As we understand, Conor Benn has been eating his wife's pum pum. Morning, day, night. Nosh pum 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 pum. Pum 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 pum. And that's why this clomiphene drug has got into his system, which his wife's been taking. It's so easy, man. If he hasn't said that, you've got to listen to the Triple B. Subscribe, Cash App, 5 large for my free consultancy. So, it's free now, but I wouldn't mind $5,000 for it. You get me? and at 5 million, you can afford 5 grand because it should be help you out, blood. Huh? Now, and then, they'll probably, like I said, he'll pass the B test. Whether or not he even takes the B test, he probably won't. He'll just, they'll slip a bit of cash to the relevant people. Oh, he didn't fail the B test. That was nothing. It was because of the PUM PUM eating. You watch. Yeah, it's good to be talking about PUM PUM for once and not Corey's, in boxing, because, it's usually Corey this, Corey that, Corey that, Corey this. You get me? Anyway, check out my merchandise, the Triple B merchandise. Go to the description, the link. Just have a look anyway, yeah? I got my boy, Anonymous, yeah? My boy, he bought a nice Tyson Fury Pepe mug, yeah? With a little contrasting yellow handle. Look real good, real good. I'm going to get one myself. I don't know which design yet, but yeah, that was good, because my boy Anonymous had also given me a cash out for the last live, yeah? He gave me £15, which is lovely. Well, and the other thing is, yeah, he clicked on the Triple B link, affiliate link, in the description. So after he give me the money, the Triple B gets £5 for the referral, and my boy Anonymous gets £5 because it was referred. So everybody wins, yeah. This is just Triple B just keeps on giving back to his fans. You talk about Ricky Hatton, who charges his fans. Triple B gives back to his fans. You get me? Yeah. So my boy Anonymous gave very generous just under £15. So it wasn't exactly £15. It was exactly 12p under £15. Yeah. If you know, you know. All right. If you can work it out, you might have a brain. If you got a peanut here like Spencer Fearon, who seems to have disappeared, by the way, since I rinsed him on that video. Well, I didn't rinse him. I just pointed out some facts. You're a well-known grass, huh? Yeah. You've never been employed by DK if you'd known you were grass. Now the US Treasury, and the FBI, whatever, the CIA are after you. They're in big trouble, boy. Huh? Because if the firm found out they obviously didn't know you was a grass when they took you on. Yeah, but now they will, because it's out there. Because you wouldn't let it lie. You wouldn't shut up, man. So now, he stopped Wang Chai. Yeah, he stopped commenting on my videos. He didn't come on the live or anything. I was a bit disappointed, Like I said, if the man is kind enough, he said, look, I'd really like you to take this down. I'm like, all right, man. But I put a lot of work in there, so, I've got to be compensated. Well, how does 5 large on Cash App sound? Anyway, yeah. I mean, they're all for sale, my videos. Yeah. Each video is $2,500 to buy. And then you can have it as your property. And I can't display it. What about that, homeboy? How does that sound, blood? Huh? Anyway, yeah, so he's absolutely browning his pants, isn't he? And it's his fault. It's his fault for baiting people, for being a wrong'un, for hanging out with dangerous criminals, breaking the law, laundering money. So it's like, are you going to be whacked, go on the lam, or are you going to go on the lam? Are you going to have to get a new, what's it called, a new identity? Because even if you don't get pulled in by the Treasury, and when you do, you're grass, because you couldn't even do 1 week behind door. You get me? Cried. And you've already grasped before to save your batty, so you'll do it again. And then what? Well, you're in big trouble, man. You're in big trouble. Because you upset some big cartel like that, you're in trouble. And even if you don't, just the fact that you're on known grass, puts you in a vulnerable position. It's your fault, blood. You lie down with dirty street dogs and you pick up fleas. And you poke people, you insult them. You'll get bitten in the end. Sleep well, sugar. Sleep well, sugar.